See if anybody shows up for this. A new camera. I mean, new toy. Hey, Crystal, how you doing? Can you hear me okay? Hey, Tom. By the way, I got me a new camera today. It's sitting up here, and I got my laptop sitting down over here. Actually went over. Hey, Ed, how you doing? Hey, can y'all hear me okay with the new camera? And how's the video and everything? Well, I'm going over to Best Buy after church, and got me a was it a J5 little camera. Got me a little webcam. It was like it's supposed to be like a 1080 compared to like a 720 on the laptop. All right. Well, thank you guys for stopping in. I appreciate it. Like I said, I just wanted to try out the camera, see how it goes, see what y'all thought. Is the quality of the video a little bit better, and how's the sound? That's what I'm wanting to try out, see how it is. Tell you what. Okay, I'll tell you what. I'll move the camera itself. I just got it perched up here. Tell you what. Oh, I don't know if it'll. There. Oh, that lights. That might be better. Let's see if I can get it angled down a little bit better. That way that light's not. Is that a little bit better, Ed? Like I said, I got it sitting up here, and I got my laptop down here. Good. All right, anybody want to join in? Why not? I'm putting the link in right now. There we go. We got the link. Got the link. Since I got doing StreamYard right now. Okay, no problem, Crystal. But Ed, hey, I went going over to Home Depot today after church. Use that $25 gift card, and wound up getting it was 100 feet Cat 6 cable. So hopefully the internet connection and everything is a lot faster and a lot better than what I have had. And like I said, I'm going over to Best Buy, picked up this little J5 camera. It's got a built-in microphone, so hopefully it's a lot better than what I have been. I'm getting there. I'm finally starting to get an upgrade on some of this stuff. I'm actually looking at. I was looking at one of the computers, the little desktops that they've got, and I think it's for like $569. They've got a gaming laptop, or not laptop, but a desktop, and I'm thinking about getting that and just getting using one of the monitors and going from there with it. Hey, we've got our first contestant on Mater's Sunday night little live chat. So come on down, Crystal.
Morning, guys. Evening. I'm still working on yesterday. I'm still working on yesterday. Not enough sleep, but it was a good chat. So.
Yeah. Hey, I appreciate you coming in last night. Like I said, I'm sorry I kept you up so late.
It's fine. It's I'm normally up until 12:30, 1 o'clock anyway, but starting this new job, I get up at 5:15 in the morning, and then
Right.
with the time change, that just cut it down to like 3 hours. So,
All right. And I also appreciate you subbing to my channel too. Hey,
you're
Doc.
welcome. I blame that
So,
all on Ed and Mark.
well, like I said, I was, like I said, because of what Ed and Justin wound up doing, I was able to get the upgrades and everything for doing the live streams. So hopefully the quality's better as far as audio and video. So you
Yeah.
said the audio and video is what, better now than what it was last night?
Yeah, last night you were out of sync by about 2 to 3 seconds.
Was
And yeah, you still
Okay.
are a little bit, but not as bad as you were last night.
I? Okay.
Now, I'm just using standard on whatever came with my computer. So,
Right. 'Cause that's what I had, with on the laptop. Of course, I think the laptop set for 720. And so this camera I picked up today, which with tax and everything was just under $65.
yeah, that's not bad.
And no, it's not. I mean, I wasn't looking for a high end, one of those real high end cameras. And because I'm out here in my garage, so it's like I don't want something that I'm going to spend a lot of money on that can get damaged. And it's like I'm at, say $200. And like I
Yeah.
said, with this one here was 65. It was 64 and change. So it's like,
Yeah, so $65 to replace it's not that big a deal.
right.
Yeah. No, I went and spent my money on yarn, so
Okay.
but
Like I said, I'm trying to do the upgrade and everything, make everything better. Get
Yeah.
with the times, as they say.
well, since I honestly never plan on putting content on my channel, the entire reason I got it was so I can get notifications about
Everybody
crochet
else.
patterns. Yeah,
Right.
crochet patterns. And then I found Froggy. She sent me to Tampa Boys. Adam sent me to Ed, sent me to Mark, sent me to you.
Right. Did you see that video that I uploaded this afternoon?
I saw it. It is in my watch later, and I will be doing that probably Tuesday or Thursday afternoons so that I can, because that's my wind down time.
Right.
Is after work.
Yeah.
So,
No, I was heading to church this morning, and I got up on the highway. I just, cruising 75, and all I know is that all of a sudden I come up on this car, and she gets to the exit, doesn't take the exit, and then slows down to like 15, 20 miles an hour. I got a big rig behind me. He's wanting to take the exit, okay?
yeah.
So as immediately I reach over my glove box, I pull out my little cord and everything and plug it in the stereo, plug the other end of my phone, 911, get them on the phone. That way, I'm hands free and everything going down the highway. And I'm telling them, okay, I'm coming up on this exit, mile marker so and so. And let's see, started off in Palmer, went up going into Ferris. And she got into Ferris. She actually took, it was, I think, the third exit. Literally took the exit and then stopped right in the middle of the exit ramp. I mean, she was stopped there for about a minute or so. And it's like,
was she high, drunk, or just stupid?
I have no idea. All I know is that she was going down the road, and literally there was time she'd be straddling the right and center lane. Then she'd go over to the left-hand lane, straddle that and the center, and then come back. And sometimes she was doing like 50 miles an hour in the center lane, and even the left-hand lane. And the speed limit 75 through there.
That makes me wonder what she was on, because
that's what I didn't know if she was drunk. I mean, it looked like she had a handicap sticker.
Okay,
in
Ed, the tech guy, he's saying to set your camera to 720p, 120 FPS, and
frames per second.
Okay, just got me completely lost. I'm just retelling what's in it. And change your lighting.
Okay.
And he said this setup is good. Says it really shows you've got a good quality camera.
Yep, I was just reading that. I mean, I can do that. I mean, of course, I've got this one light that's like right above me where I got my laptop and everything. I guess what I can do, tell you what, let me move my little stool over and I'll move the camera back so that way the lighting is not hitting it.
Yeah, you'll just have to move your laptop and everything over to center with where you're putting your new camera.
Right. Well, it's not just that. That's just that I'm just trying to find a spot where I can
set it up and leave it pretty much.
Get it all set up. I know it's moving around on me right now. Okay, is that a little bit better?
Yeah, if there was any way you could park.
Do what now?
Said if there was any way you could sit right about where your Coke is at, that would be perfect for the angle to be centered.
I'm trying to get all this set up that way this cable doesn't want to move the camera.
Oh, I thought it didn't want to wander off.
Yeah, well, it just wound up falling on me. Okay, is that a little bit better? I moved the camera over more and everything, you know. Of course, I got the camera right here in front of me, but my laptop is sitting like right over here. So if I
is there any way you can put a chair right where your right hand is and move your laptop that way? Put a chair in that area and sit and move your laptop. You'd be a little farther back, but it'd still be good.
Yeah, let me move some stuff off my workbench here.
Sounds like me. I've got half a dozen bags that I have to move around to get to the yarn I need.
Yeah. Move my loose screws around.
Don't lose them.
Yeah, I got several of those.
I lost mine years ago. I deal with a bunch of redneck Okies. Yeah, we pointed that out, Tom. Hi, Frank. I have my cell phone is on my right knee, so when you see me looking down, it's because I'm looking at my phone for the chat. I can see it better than I can my laptop.
Okay. So, now, is that better with where I got the camera compared to my laptop?
Perfect.
Okay,
now, do you have everything where you can see it for you?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I'm just going to, I know, like I said, I got the camera up here. Now, I might be able to put the camera actually on the laptop itself. So, I don't know, but I do know it's set up where it can be on a tripod.
Yeah. You can pick those up for $20 at Walmart, just a little cheap one.
I've got a couple of them. One of them actually picked up at a flea market, I think for about $10, $5 or $10, something like that.
I've got a wicker basket that I picked up at Goodwill for like $3.
Yeah, it's this little Vivitar. It's a VPT 1200.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, one thing I like, it's got a little carrying handle on it. So I mean, it's a little bit smaller than my other one I've got.
Well, when it comes to playing up with the tripod and stuff, you can mark where you want it to be. Mark, the angle and stuff.
Right.
And then you can go in and set the tripod, and you can shrink it and move it around and see how that works. You can do that off camera, and that way you're not interrupting everything.
Like I said, I mean, here's both of them, and you can see the little bit of a difference in size.
Not even a half inch.
If I put that right there, and it's probably
now
it's about 2.5 inches.
Yeah, now that you have it lined up almost exactly, it would be a good 2.
Right. I mean, this is Velborn 9000, so I mean, I'm looking at the leg size, and even the legs are,
Thinner.
Well, this one's got a smaller, thinner legs, and everything compared to this Velborn. So that's what I've got right now. So I mean, I picked it up. Like I said, it's smaller, and you can. I mean, there's a big weight difference too.
Oh yeah.
And
the Vivitar is heavy.
No, the Wellborn's more heavy. This one is heavier.
Well, it's probably older and made. Probably, yeah.
But like I said, the one thing I like, it's actually this little one's actually got a carrying handle on it.
Ed, you have a good night and stay safe, okay?
Yep. You bugging out, Ed? Hey, like I said, you missed it the other night. When Crystal was on here, had Justin on, and I gave him a big shout out, and it's like, I still want to say thank you because with what you and of course Dale and Jay who did, I was able to go get this. I got the 100-foot Cat 6 cable at Home Depot today. Basically didn't pay anything for it. So you basically bought my internet setup right now. All I did is pay for my camera.
Yay, guys. I'm working on a shawl for Mark's wife, Sandy. And I have to finish what?
Hey, Frank.
Wrong way. What's left of this, and that's what I have used so far, where that hole is. And it's purple, though it shows up blue there.
Ain't nothing wrong with purple. I like it.
I do too. I just do not. I have a little bit of pink, and that's being worked into a scrap blanket.
Right.
Otherwise, it doesn't. This pink does not come in my house.
For me, the reason I do like purple is that February is my birth month, so that's also amethyst, which is purple. Mm-hmm. That's my birthstone. I do have one. I got one ear stud, and it's just like I got. If I'm going to get it, I got it years ago. It's like no, I'm getting an amethyst.
Yeah. Mine is actually, my birthstone is very, very popular because it is a diamond.
That's what I was going to say, diamond.
Yes.
Well, it's a girl's best friend.
I would rather have sapphires or dark amethyst, either or. Right. But yeah, diamonds are supposed to be a girl's best friend just simply because when he screws up, we get more money out of the pawn shop with the diamond.
Not really.
No.
Because I've been married twice now. And the first wife passed away years ago. Actually going on, almost 11 years now. And anyways, she passed away. And I wound up buying her wedding set at a jeweler at the mall for, I think, $3,500 or more than that.
Yeah.
And I just had a plain Jane gold wedding band. Yep. Took it to the pawn shop. My plain Jane wedding band was worth more scrap metal wise than her diamond set.
Mm-hmm. My dad, when he remarried, he got a bridal set, a full set, men's and women's. It was Spanish, so it was gold covered in black, and then it had etchings where it pulled the black off. And her diamond, he got it at a shop for $100 for all three of them. Yep. And he just had to have it sized because that woman wore a size 4 ring.
Wow. Small toothpick. I was like, damn.
This is an 11 in women's.
Wow.
Yeah.
I like big girls.
Well, I've already told you I'm 6'1", so I'm pretty big.
You're perfect size for me. I wouldn't complain.
I'm not complaining. My kid's dad is shorter than me, and so has been all but one of my boyfriends.
Well, I say there's 3 reasons why I like women that are on the plus size. One, just a little bit more to grab a hold of. There's more to keep you warm. and I'm not going to say the third one.
Not if you want. Not if you want to keep me up here. You don't.
Right, that's what I'm saying. No, I'm going to be a gentleman, and I'm not going to say the third one.
Yeah. No, I don't. Honestly, it took me a while to get comfortable with me, and it's finally at the point where I don't care what a man thinks of me. If he doesn't like it, there's the door. I can find somebody else.
Right. To me, it's never really been about looks or anything like that. I mean, the way I put it is a person is like a piece of chocolate, okay? You're not really after that glittery outer covering, the wrapper and everything. What is more important is the goodness that's on the inside. That's the most important thing.
Yeah. If you take a look at the ones I have dated, there is no one set thing that they have in common, except that they are
Right.
male. That's the only thing they had in common is they're men.
Right. Well, hopefully that was the only thing.
Yeah.
But no, like I said, I also look at it like this: it's like, how does a blind person fall in love? Honestly,
I don't know.
it's always by the way they're treated.
Mhm.
So that to me, it's got to come from here. It's not about the looks or anything like that. It's got to be from inside your personality, how you treat someone and everything. Like I said, you can be the most beautiful person in the world.
And you're also the biggest jerk I've ever met.
Well, I was thinking about a female dog too, but
Like you said, we're being polite right now.
correct. I mean, I do know that when I was, several years ago, I was on a dating site, and I asked one of the girls if she'd been to the vet to get her shot lately, and she goes, "What shot would I have to get?" I go, "Your distemper shot."
That's just wrong on so many levels. But I've done worse.
Yeah, but like I said, it's just, guys can be a sphincter muscle, but then, like I said, women can be a female dog too.
Yeah.
That's all there's to it.
I was going into work one night, and there was a young lady. She happened to be a young black lady, about 21, 22. She said, "Me and all my female dogs are going to go out to the club." I looked at her. I said, "Where are they at?" She goes, "What?" I said, "Where are your dogs at?" Because she was using the other word. I said, "Where are your dogs at?" She goes, "Why?" I said, "We have hot food over there. You need to get your dogs out of my store." I said, "No, you said you and your bees. So you're talking about female dogs. You're calling your friends dogs. You need to get them out of my store." I walked around the counter, clocked in, put my apron on. When I stepped up to the register, "Hi, how can I help you?" And she looked at me. She goes, "I want $5 on that pump." And it was hilarious because one of the guys behind her said, "Thank you. I hate it when my friends call me the N-word," and they were all people of color. And I'm like, I don't care one way or another, because I don't go home with you. And if you don't like it, you tell them. And if they keep it up, you might want to find other friends.
Yep. I mean, I'm not, okay. I know I've got my phone, I've got my notification. If I get a text message or YouTube or it's really any kind of notification, okay?
Mm-hmm.
It's the Dixie horn sound, okay?
Oh, yeah.
So for me, I am not a racist person, okay?
But that's what you grew up at, and part of your culture is the South.
Correct.
The Stars and Bars and Dixie and everything.
Well, okay. The reason I go behind that is because, of course, I grew up watching the Dukes of Hazzard. Okay. Now, when I started dirt track racing, my second race car was a 70 Dodge Charger.
Yep.
Okay. 68, 69, 70. Basically the same body and everything. They just changed tail lights, the hood, or, well, they did change the hood on the 70 was a hood and front fenders. But, I mean, it was grill and little other things. But the General Lee from Dukes of Hazzard was a 69 Dodge Charger.
Mhm.
What was the horn on that? It was Dixie. So when I got my Charger and everything, you know, I picked it up and was like, okay, I'm going to paint it orange. And I put my numbers on there almost the same way as the General Lee. I even had, it was the bar, stars and bars without the stars on it. I painted on the deck lid, okay, on the trunk lid.
Yeah.
So that is like, for me, the General Lee. I like my Dodge Chargers and stuff like that. So why not?
That's what I grew up with too.
Right. And
I grew up with the reruns though.
Right. But for me, of course, I was watching it was coming out every week. But then, of course, I've got a friend of mine I still keep in contact and talk to him from high school. He's as they say, of the dark persuasion. It's like, I don't have a problem with him. There's guys I work with. They are, they say, they're like from south of the border. I got no problem with them. I'll hang out with them.
I call them blacks. I call them Hispanic. I call them Asian. Other than that, anything, it's either that or people of color.
Right.
Is politically correct. And if you say people of color, they say, no, I'm black, or no, I'm Asian. So.
Well, I'll tell you what's real good is that in the movie Red Tails. Okay. Are you familiar with that movie?
I don't think so.
It's the second, I guess you could say the second version of the Tuskegee Airmen. Okay. Now, what's really funny is Cuba Gooding Jr., he's in both of them, but he plays two different characters, okay?
Yeah.
But in the Red Tails, there's a scene and everything in the bar, the officers' bar, okay?
Yeah.
Mind you, this is World War II, so you've got the white pilots, and here the Tuskegee Airmen, they're the black pilots, okay? Mm-hmm. And the guy was going, okay, when you get mad, you turn red. When you get sick, you turn green. And then when you get scared, you turn yellow. And you got the nerve to call us colored?
Yep. Now I remember that.
Right. So, I mean, and those guys got respect. And I have respect for those guys also for what they went through in that time.
Yeah.
Because I know World War II, that was a rough time for them.
That's a rough time for anybody, just because
that's true.
Of what we were going through, and
we're still having it right now. Now I'll say, like, with that, the nicest way I can put it is that crap that went on last year, where that guy,
Floyd.
Yeah.
Gentleman passed.
Right. Now, here's the thing about it. A lot of people, they all seen the video and everything at the very end. But a lot of people have not seen the entire video showing where he's actually in the police car. At that time, he's already starting to say, I can't breathe. I can't breathe. And then he starts kicking, and making a big fuss and everything in the squad car itself. Mm-hmm. And the police have to get him out of the squad car, and they subdue him on the ground. And the entire time, before you actually go to that last few seconds of the video, he's always saying, I can't breathe. I can't breathe.
And that's
he brought that on himself. Right. So it's like, I'm going, I don't see, to me, in my opinion, of course, opinions are like these, and
Every
The
guy they
other,
got one, they stink.
right, everybody's got one. Some of them stink. Yeah. Um, so like to me, the guy he started. Okay, he was getting out of control. Plus, he was on dope.
Yeah.
And it's like I don't see any. To me, in my opinion, I don't see anything the police were doing wrong.
The way they were holding him down in the way of where he had his positioned his knee, that was wrong. He should have been on his back and held his head by his hand separate. Should have held the
Right.
head down.
Yeah, I mean, there could have been things they'd done different. Correct.
That's where it messed up, is because he put his knee in that spot. That was deliberate. So he deliberately was trying to choke him out, to get him to pass out so they could subdue him. I understand that and I get that, but still it could have been done differently. So, but that's getting into the political Black Lives Matter and stuff like that, and I don't want to get into all that. It's too much, and that's more drama than it's worth. Okay, I lost sound. I cannot hear you. Can you hear me? Okay. Say something, because I'm going to try and hear you on my YouTube side.
I'm trying. Okay. For some reason, the microphone got muted.
Say something. Okay, I got you back on on both of them. So.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I got you.
For some reason, I got a little thing. Right. For some reason, something came up and it's like it's been muted. I'm going, what's going on here?
Talking with your hands doesn't work because that will mute your stuff. That's why my laptop is down in my lap while I'm sitting up, so I don't mess with the buttons.
I'm not touching it. I mean, I've got the laptop right here, got the camera up there. I'm sitting back. I'm not touching it. I mean, okay, different subject. There's some stuff going on here in Texas, okay?
Okay.
And this happened, I think, last weekend. There was what they call an auditor, where they go around and they videotape police and their actions and their job and everything.
Yeah, they do a ride along, basically.
Right. Well, they don't do a ride along. What these people do is they find out where, they stop, they're out traveling, they see the police, will get the camera out and start recording the police. Some of them have scanners, so they find out what's going on, so they'll travel there just to make sure the police are doing their job and doing it correctly.
Mm-hmm.
This girl out of Fort Worth, she wound up going, she heard about it, went over there, was recording the police. They wound up arresting her for standing out in the street and said it was pedestrian in the roadway. Arrested.
It was called what?
Pedestrian standing in roadway.
Yes, because if she was not in a crosswalk, then she was at fault.
True, but most of the time they're going to say, either step back or they're going to say, okay, I'm going to write you a ticket. She was arrested.
Well, it depends on what situation they were handling that she was filming.
Right. But here in Texas, it's totally legal to do that. You can film the police in their duties.
Mm-hmm.
It's a First Amendment audit. I mean, it's totally legal. And unfortunately, here in Texas, there's a lot of cops that do not like it. And they will go, they see, someone doing something like that, and first thing they'll do is, I need your ID. And it's like, I don't need to give you ID because, Texas is not a stop to ID state. Plus, we don't have to identify unless we committed a crime or about to commit a crime or have done a traffic violation.
Yep. Okay, give me 2 seconds. Hey, Adam, thank you for stopping in, and get some rest because I know you got a long week ahead of you. Have a good night, hon. Tampa Boys customers pop in and out.
Yeah,
He said he was in and out. So, hi,
yeah.
Justin.
I appreciate him stopping by. Hey, Justin, you want to pop on here real quick, Justin? I'll put the link back up.
Yeah, I'm going to. And there goes a train by my house again.
I get them every now and then, too, coming by.
I get one every hour and a half.
Do you?
I've got to turn my camera off because I've got to switch positions. And I'm no longer going to be able to have my camera on so you can see. No, I can have the mic on. It's when the position I'm going to lay down. But if I have my camera on, all you're going to see is a reflection out of my window, which is right behind me.
Hey, I'm not complaining. You got to do what you got to do to be comfortable.
Yeah. Plus, I have a really, really messy backyard.
Oh, you ought to see my backyard. I'm still trying to get everything here in the garage. I mean, like I said, from where I'm at right now, 2 years ago, I wouldn't be able to sit down where I'm at. My dad had that much junk in here.
I could take that wall that's behind you and take at least half to 3/4 of it with the totes of my yarn.
Okay. Now, you're talking about this wall back over here?
Yeah.
Okay. You see how, I'm standing up straight. You see how those wall studs and everything are at an angle? That's because there was a tree that it was like this and it split and came over it and has literally been shoving the garage over.
Okay, if it was straight, I could take it.
All right. It looks like we got another contestant on Mater's live stream on Sunday night. So let's see if Justin has got the correct answer.
Hi, Justin.
Hey, hey, how's it going, Justin?
Hey,
last thing I heard was Crystal said, if it's straight, I can take it. And I try to tell her, I'm like, I'll tell you, every time I try to jump on a damn live stream with Mater, she always turned her camera off. I'm like, man, look, just because you got some sexy southern voice don't mean you got to turn your camera off every single time.
Yeah, but now
Mater knows what I'm talking about. Come on now, girl. Come on.
Mater knows.
Hey, Justin, I got a better shot at her than you do because I'm a lot closer to her.
I'm not saying no shit. I'm just saying, like, every time I hop on, you go, I got to turn off my video. I'm like, come on, girl, damn.
I was doing that because I'm like,
let Southern California boys see you, you know?
Nope. You're married. You don't need to see nothing I got.
Hey, see, Mater, you already got the best of both worlds. At least she let you talk to her.
Yeah. Hey, Justin, okay, give me an opinion. What do you think of my new camera and microphone setup?
I like it, man. I gotta say, like, if you was to ask me about opinion from like what last night to tonight,
right?
I say it's at least a 2.5 star better. So if we was doing it like on a 10-star rating, I'd say it's at least 2.5 star better. Like you're very clear, very crisp. The outlines of your body plus like the outlines of the stuff you have going on, very much clear. Before a little bit distorted, a little bit of fuzzy, a little pixelated. But I didn't mind it. I mean, we could still hear you. I never really focused too much on all the little things that everyone else wants to see. Hey, look, man, I mean, it's going to be what it's going to be. There sometimes I shoot live stream from my phone. It's not always perfect. But I'm at lunch. Fuck you. Enjoy it. Otherwise, fuck you. And get off. I'll see you next time.
So you've got over 1,000 subscribers, so you can do a live stream being mobile. I'm still trying to get up to 100. Right. I mean, I believe with Crystal sub and everything, I think I'm up to 65 right now. So
yeah, that's what it's showing.
Right. So, anyways, I've got a long way to go before I can even get to do mobile live streams. I got a long way to go.
What? You know how many mobile live streams I've done in the last 5 years?
Probably several.
One.
That's several.
Like 3 weeks ago. 3 weeks ago. All my
That's
live
one
streams
more
always
than
in
what
the
I
garage. It's always on a Friday. It's always on my PC. It's always at home, just like you're
Right.
doing now. I shot one for shits and
If you-
giggles like
Right.
3 weeks ago.
Well, if you've done one, that's one more than what I've done. A lot more.
Look, it's cool when you get there, sure, because you get multiple options. But I wouldn't stress about it, man. Look, just keep being you, keep being original, keep doing what you're doing.
Right.
I mean,
Yeah.
not every single thing that Ozzy or anyone else that we was talking about music-wise before, they didn't do everything live. Most of it was in a studio. When it became popular, they went on a live tour. Look at it like that. Hey,
Yeah.
hey,
by
now
the
we're
way,
on a live tour. We finally made enough followers. We can do a live tour,
By the way, I don't know if you heard or not, but of course I did that one video this morning about that one female. But anyways, after church, I wound up going over to Home Depot, and I wound up using that gift card, thanks to you, and got me a 100-foot Cat 6 cable, which I've got hooked up here to my laptop. And then it's like, okay, I'm going over to Best Buy, and for just under $65, I got this little 1080p camera that's got a built-in microphone.
Yeah, that's what I got. Logitech.
Mine's a J5.
Okay, I bought this Logitech 1080p, which is what I'm on now. I know I'm always off the screen. My camera not always set up right. I got this shit for what was it, like 60 to $80? I said I want to say $60.
That's what
Cool.
Best Buy had. They had I think a Logitech for like $69.
I tried to use the incorporated camera with the laptop. Everyone bitched that it was at 380. I got the one that was Logitech by 1080. They bitch it's not at 4K. You know what? Hey, send me the 4K then, okay? Because I ain't fucking spending goddamn money on some bullshit ass fucking 4K fucking last goddamn camera, okay?
Right.
Y'all want to send me $6,000? Hey, we can talk. Until then, $80 is the max.
And that's exactly what I told the guy. I says, look, I'm going to be out in my garage where it's going to be dusty, dirty, and everything. And the camera's probably going to get knocked over. So I don't want to spend, I think the top one they had was like $200. I don't want to spend something like that, that kind of money for something that it's going to get damaged. And then I'm out that kind of money. But I didn't want to get a low-end one where the quality and everything was not as good as my laptop camera.
Yeah.
So it's like, I do know that 1080 is what needs to be done for YouTube. So it's like, okay, let me find one of those. So with tax and everything, it's just under $65. I appreciate that, Tom. Yeah, I'm definitely getting there.
Yep.
Hey, you know what? Run one build a day, man. Look, I'm just don't spend too much money on this YouTube shit. Look, it's a hobby. It's fun. Share your opinion, but don't go crazy. Like, you know what? I'm all in. I'm gonna put my mortgage on the line. What for? Look, you just have fun with it, man. Okay, it's supposed to be fun. The moment it's not fun, that's the moment you gotta really start rethinking your lifestyle.
Yeah, Polar Bear Ed and Adam at Tampa Boys Customs, they both had lives today, and they were saying, we may be monetized, we may be able to do all this stuff. They're not making a whole lot of money.
No.
So hey, Antonio.
Hey, Antonio's in the house.
How's your migraine?
What up, bro?
Hey, Antonio, you want to jump in on here? You want to be another guest? Put the link up for you. And that's one thing I'm learning still, with the StreamYard. And what was it? Last night was my first StreamYard.
I think so. I think that's what you said.
Yeah. So I've been doing just a live tube.
Come on up, Antonio. Go pop the link out.
Come on up. Come on up, Antonio. The price is right.
You got
It's
the link in
free.
the chat again?
I've got the link up there. I thought I put the link up there. Oh, I didn't hit the. Sorry, I didn't hit that button.
Okay.
My
I was going to
mistake.
say, I didn't see it, so.
Tom
I
Quaylen
didn't
want to
hit the
know.
other button.
Tom Quaylen want to know why spend money on something when you can spend money on tools, because sometimes you don't need money on tools. Okay, especially if you're
Yeah.
reviewing tools. If you're reviewing tools, you get a lot of people that bitch. Okay, these people are like they were no offense, Crystal. They worse than women. Okay, they worse than women. You know, the audio's not right, the visual's not right, your information's not right. Blah 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 blah. Look, bitch, I'm doing the best that I fucking can. You either like it or you don't. That's as good as it's gonna get. Go in the fucking goddamn kitchen and make a goddamn sandwich. I don't know what to tell you. Okay, this is as good as it's gonna get. People don't like hearing that. But that's the truth, though. I mean, the truth of the matter is that why you spend money on extra, better camera equipment, audio equipment, it's because you have enough people that are bitching about it to where you finally decide to do something about it. That's why. It takes me a long ass time. I gotta tell you, it takes me a long ass time. Like, man, I don't give a fuck. I mean, all my shit is the way that it is. And then eventually, I'm like, all right, got a new camera. How you like it? It's okay. Oh, okay. I'm so glad I spent $1,500 fucking dollars for you to tell me it's okay. That's great. Love it. Perfect. Son of a bitch.
Like I said, I'm
Hey,
having
Antonio?
fun. Hey, Antonio, how's it going?
Hey, how's it going?
Your migraine doing better, hon?
Yeah,
It's
feeling
all right,
better?
yes.
Hi, Shaggy.
Hang in there, guys. Shaggy!
What up, Shaggy?
Hey, Justin, how's it going?
It's like, and Justin, like for me, I did twists and wrenches years ago myself, but, like I said, for me, when everything started getting all computerized and everything, and you have to just buy all these special tools, this and the other, it's like, man, this is getting, to be too much of a hemorrhoid, and the technology and everything is like, I just don't feel like keeping up with it. It's like, I'm just going to go and do something else. I just got out of doing automotive work. It was just getting to be too much of a hemorrhoid.
Man, you ain't the only one. You ain't the only one, sir. I'll tell you this. Look, at some point in time in my career or profession, I'm sure that I will get at that point where I said enough is enough. I went from the dealership to the independent, back to the dealership, and I'm having to use some of the same things that I use at the independent because that was what my meat and potatoes was. That's why they brought me back, was to do that kind of stuff because I had that ability to. Once you get beyond the ability to, and you're not keeping up with it, that's probably the time to retire. That's the time to just sit back and go, you know what? I'm not going to be like the new technology, Total Recall, and try to understand computers.
Total Recall.
Figure shit out. You know what I mean? Like, and then you just let it go, man. Look, someone say, you going to review tools forever? Hell no, I'm not going to review tools forever. I'm going to review tools so long as I'm in the industry. Once I get out, I'm going to start doing rants about being old. That is what I'm probably going to do.
Hey, here's the cigarette lighter you need, Justin.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Yeah, cigarette lighter like that.
How you doing, Justin?
I'm tired, dude. I'm tired. I'm cooking and booking and spinning the wheels, but I'm keeping up.
I tried to send you something on Instagram and Facebook the other day, and I don't think your Instagram shows up anymore.
I'll take a look. I don't know. I don't know how that stuff works, man. I really don't. I don't pay attention to it. When I get these bullshit Chinese offers, I got this one company. They're like, "We'll pay you $300 plus send you this if you unbox it." I don't want to unbox it. We'll pay you.
I was trying to send you a deal on a tool.
I was like, I got nothing to install it on. Oh, well, How much time you need? I don't know, a year? At least a year?
Right.
And then they contact me like 3 days later. Haven't heard from you. It hasn't been a year yet.
Right. Yeah.
Suck my
Just
shit.
the one thing I was going to say is, like, for me, one of the main things, the reason I got out of doing automotive work, and mind you, this was about 25 years ago, and I was working for Pet Boys, and we had a new tech come in, and he unloaded 2 bottom boxes and 2 top boxes, and so he had over 40,000 in tools. He still didn't have enough, and I'm looking at that, I'm going, he's got over 40 grand in tools and doesn't have everything he needs. It's like, there is just no way in hell I'm going to want to spend that kind of money investing in tools that I'm probably never going to get paid off.
Well, that ain't
I mean,
unforeseeable, Mater. I mean, think about it. Let's say this. Let's say that Matco 4S that I bought with the hutch. There goes 10K. Let's say you bought the Snap-on Zeus. There goes 10.5. Now you at 25 or 20,500.
I remember when the Zeus was. I remember when the Zeus was $50,000.
I say you just put in a scan tool and the toolbox. You're at 20,500. That's not even close to 40K. Now put in your generic hand tools and go from there.
Justin, I remember when the Zeus was 50 grand.
Nah, that shit is 10.5. But if you drag it out for fucking 72 payment cycles, it's 18 grand. So you pay an extra $8,000 to drag out the minimum payment for 72 months. Then it's 18 grand. You pay that shit off.
When it first came out, it was 50,000. So like the first.
Right. But here's my question to both of y'all. How long is that tool that you're going to buy, how long is it going to be before it actually makes the money back that you're spending on it?
10 years.
Quite quickly if it's in an open use shop every day.
Okay. I would say 5 to 10 years.
Because for me, there was one tool.
They stopped producing software updates within 10 years, just like any manufacturer.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
You have about a 5 to 10 year window to make as much money as you possibly can. If you're never using it, you'll never make your money back. If you use it at the side, maybe you make a 16th or an 8th of what that tool cost you. If you are doing it 50% of the time of diagnosing, 50% of the time of the work, you could probably have it paid off within 5 to 10 years. So I'm going to say for as long as the note takes you to pay off, that is how long it takes you before that tool is irrelevant and they're on to the next thing.
Right. And see, that's my point, is the fact that you're spending all this money for something that, I mean, give me an example. Okay, when I was doing automotive work, I was on the tool truck. I can't remember if it was Snap-on or Mac. And they had this one tool. The guy was saying it's brand new. And it's like, what is it? He goes, it's the inner tie rod removal tool for some kind of a Ford. And I go, okay. He says, but it only fits that one particular vehicle. It was $100. And mind you, this was 25 years ago. And I'm going, why in the hell am I going to want to spend $100 for a tool that I might see that one particular vehicle in once a year? There was no logical use in spending that kind of money for something I may not ever even use.
I got the answer for that. I bought a Sonix socket that cost me $30. It was a 12-point, 12 millimeter, 3/8 drive impact socket. Cost me $30. Failed within its first attempt of using it. Warrantied it out. Lasted 2 more times before it failed again. Warrantied it out. Used it again. After that, I gave up. I was like, you know what? It kind of works, so I'm just going to stick with it. I did that for over 2 years until eventually I decided to buy a Snap-on 12-point, 12 millimeter, 3/8 drive universal socket in impact. And he said $50. And I fucking damn near shit myself. I said, for what? He said, for a socket. I said, you got to be fucking kidding me. There better be something for free. So he gave me a fucking goddamn Mexican train domino set. He said, this is typically cost $25. You can have that for free. Dope. So the way I looked at it, I mean, granted, that might not be worth $25. The way I looked at it, though, is it was half the cost. If it cost me $25 for that domino set, I only paid $25 for the damn socket. Hey, as long as I'm getting some for free, I think $50 for one socket's too much. But I had a lot of people saying you will not be disappointed. So that being said, man, if that socket holds up even more than 1 or 2 times, it damn near paid for itself. Because I got sick and tired of that thing not fitting when I needed it to. Because you know what I'm talking about. If the socket is stuck, you got to sit there and zap the trigger until it's in the correct position to put it on to take the fastener off. Pain in the ass. Pain in the ass.
I've paid about $80 for a socket, but we're talking 1-inch drive, 3.5-inch socket.
That's a big nut. Yeah. But that's for for something that's going to be in a specialty style, vehicle, something like that. So yeah, some things I can understand, but like I said, for me, I just got out of it.
For most DIY, you don't need all that, all right? Because you ain't going to use it that much.
Right.
You can get by with a cheap or a mid-grade and be just as happy and tickled pink and never have to spend those kind of buku dollars. For those of us,
it's unrealistic. It's unrealistic to buy an inner tie rod tool for $100 unless you work on that vehicle more than once a week.
Right. Yeah. See, that was my point. That's why it's like there's just no way I'm going to want to spend this kind of money, get myself very deep into debt and everything. And how long is it going to take me to recover paying these tools and everything off? And I still got my other bills. I still got to get paid. And it's like, to me, it wasn't balancing out. And like I said, with the way things were going and the automotive industry at that time, like I said, mind you, that was 25 years ago. So it just was not worth it.
There's some things like when it comes to scan tools, for instance, like my motorcycles, there are certain scan tools that will connect to it and certain ones that it will not. Snap-on sells an additional feature for diagnosing motorcycles, but it's only geared towards Harley. It's not geared towards the other ones. Well, I don't have Harley. I have Honda and Kawasaki.
That's your problem.
So I got to figure out which way I'm going to check it out, right? Okay. Well, same thing can be said about diagnostic scan tools for automotive trade work. My dad said, I got this phenomenal plug-in scan tool, tells me exactly what's wrong. I said, plug it in. Let me see. It shows you a code. Cool. Guess what? It didn't tell you shit. You can't look up parameters. You can't get nothing. Now I go one step further with the discussion we had last night. Chrysler has an integrated security gateway module from 2017 north. So even my Zeus, which is a $10,500 fucking tool, I cannot communicate with a 2017.
Only Chrysler scan tool works.
Cannot do it. You have to use the Chrysler specific scan tool. Unless you pay $50 a year for some specific program, then you can at least look at information. But now you're paying an extra $50 a year. You still can't program keys. You still can't reprogram software. But at least you can do more than just read the code. But that costs you $50 per year.
See, now, that's one thing about with me. I just, like on my trike, the biggest problem I had on that was getting fuel mileage. So I took it over to a motorcycle shop, and they downloaded a new map for it to make it run better. that didn't help because I was getting like 22 miles a gallon, and Harley said it's supposed to be getting 38. And it's like that wasn't working. I wasn't getting the Vance and Hines FP3. I put it on there. I started getting about 26, 27. That still wasn't what I was wanting. So I contacted, Vance and Hines and got them on the phone, and I had my tablet and everything hooked up to it, and they went in, they reloaded a new map and everything. Now I'm getting about 31 with it. But here's the thing I like about with that FP3 is that, okay, it's married to my trike, but if I want, I can take it off of my trike. I can hook it up to my White Glides, or I can hook up to any other Harley. And if there's a problem with it, I can read codes with that one tool, and that was like a little bit over $400. Now I can still read the codes and everything to figure out what's wrong with it. So it's a scan tool right there.
Right.
And that's the one thing I like about with that is the fact it will not reprogram the computer on another Harleys because it's specific to my trike. Even if like on my White Glide, it's still got the same connector set up. I cannot reprogram the computer on my White Glide, but if there's a problem with it, I can take it off and it's like, okay, read the code and everything and figure out what I need to do to it. That's one thing I like about that scanner.
All right.
And Shaggy, I'm not into Milwaukee. I don't like. I'm not much into Milwaukee. Was it Makita, DeWalt? I take that back. I do have one DeWalt tool, and that's my little air compressor. I like my Cobalt 24-volt system.
Cobalt's not bad. So I like
it's good for a DIYer. Right. Now, I started off with the 18-volt, and then, of course, Cobalt, they did away with that. They've come out with the 24. And, of course, now they've got, the 24 brushless, which I know I wound up on my storage shed. I wound up having both the 18-volt impact driver and the 24-volt one. And I was using the 18 on one thing, and then it's like, come back with that 24. Man, you're talking about night and day between the two. I mean, that 24 has got that much more power. It's like, wow, there is a big difference in these two.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like Crystal's hiding. Does anyone else feel like Crystal's hiding? I feel like she's hiding.
No, I'm not.
No.
Y'all guys are having a discussion. I'm being polite because I'm not into that type of engine work. So
what you into, girl? What you into, girl?
I crochet.
Okay. What you got going on? What's your crochet?
Right now, I'm working on a shawl for Mrs. Twisted V Twin.
Well, there you go. Yeah. You got a replica or a demo model yet?
Oh, give me a second.
Almost 1,000.
Well, I have to set up because I'm comfortable laying down.
Just teasing.
She was laying down because she felt more comfortable that way. That's why she's got her camera off.
Yes.
So give her a break, Justin.
I just tease him.
It's all good. I'm not worried about it. I don't ever sleep solid hour.
She didn't have her camera on in the other 2 lives either.
Yeah, well, I did for a while, but because I had an epidural when I had my daughter, they nicked the nerve. So sitting up on a hard bed, which is what I have, because soft beds, I cannot sleep.
They did that to my wife.
Yeah. They just took the coating off it, so she's got the same thing I do. I'm just significantly older, and I've torn mine up. This is in shades of purple, though it's coming up blue.
Oh, I like that. That's cool.
Yep.
Looks like purple to me.
When I'm looking at it, I'm seeing blues. So
I see like a purplish with the white.
Yeah, it looks.
It's all shades of purple. This is a light purple right here.
That's awesome.
Hey, Crystal. Hey, I got a question for you. Hey,
Yeah.
let's have you make something, that says Ryobi's #1, and we'll get sent to Ed the Old Pet Guy.
Oh, I got one better.
You should send that to
Shaka Gillis.
Shaka
baby.
Gillis.
Come
Yeah.
on, yeah.
Sorry, guys. I'm trying to get my mess that's on my wall out of camera shot.
No, it's really cool though. I really dig that. That's nice. I mean, that's beautiful. I mean,
Yeah,
I
I've
like
got
it.
that. I've got a blanket that I cannot pick up to show you because it is 58 inches long from and it's 40 inches wide right now. I need to add another 10 inches and then the
Give me
board.
I'll be right back.
Huh?
Y'all chat
Yeah,
amongst yourselves. I'll be
water
right back.
the
No, there's a
But-
fire out here. I'll play fireman. You gotta get the hose out.
Same, but different.
But that one's for my dad, and I'm using 5mm hook for Sandy Shawl. I have to use a 12 for my dad.
Now, is that what's on your channel? I guess per se, like is
I
that
don't have a channel.
Oh,
I
I
have-
thought you did.
I have a channel, but I have no content because I got it to keep up and get notifications on patterns and stitches and stuff like that. So I could go beyond just making a chain and going back and making washcloths and stuff like that to be able to
Really?
do stuff like this.
My mom
Really
taught me how to
cool, like,
crochet when
see
I was
your
a kid.
opinion about it, like how you did it. That would be really cool.
Well, there's tutorials all over the place. And
Now
I just
everybody actually shows the meat and potatoes of it. You understand, like even from my standpoint as being a mechanic or a technician,
but that's
you
what
can
I grew
show
up with. Is what
100
you're
ways
talking.
from Sunday, and no one's going to understand it. But
Mhm.
there's that one guy that explains it just the right way that makes everyone go.
I'm glad she taught you, Antonio. Do you keep up with it?
The last thing I crocheted was a blanket for my newborn at the time. It was 3 years ago. It was I think it was a 30 by 40 blanket, I think, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
It was like rainbow colored. It spiraled out and from yellow and went all the way out to like red or something like that. I don't remember.
I just picked up some yarn. It's multicolored pastels. And I'm going to make that into a baby blanket.
That's
But
pretty cool.
The
This-
last thing I sewed was 'cause I also sew. I made a blanket for my uncle out of all of his Crown Royal bags that he got from drinking Crown Royal. He likes Crown Royal, so I made him a huge, like, it was like 106 inch by like 25-inch wide or something like that blanket. Might have been 40-inch wide. I don't remember. It was a huge blanket. He uses it a wall piece.
Didn't you do a video on that? Hey, Antonio, didn't you do a video on that?
I didn't do a video on it. No.
yeah,
I thought,
I
yeah,
can-
I thought either talked about it or you did a video on it.
I posted
something,
photos
so-
on my Instagram a long time ago, but I don't do stuff like that on my channel. My channel's automotive and tools and computers.
Yeah.
yeah.
See, that's one thing about with me is I don't have TikTok and I don't have Instagram. It's like I'm just sticking. The only two things I've got are my YouTube and I've got Facebook. That's it.
When I post to Instagram, it automatically posts to Facebook.
See you, Shaggy.
I only use Instagram and Facebook to message people back that I'm not comfortable with having my number to. Otherwise,
Yeah.
I don't give two shits about either one. I post
Yeah,
dumb shit. I'm on
Right.
the Facebook. It looks funny. I share it. I'm on YouTube. Think it looks funny or I like it. I share it. I'm on the Instagram. I post something that I saw that day. I share it. I get people. Oh, you post that picture? You buying that? No, I'm not buying it, motherfucker. Just taking a picture of it. God damn it. Just fucking taking a picture. I get tired of posting shit because people think everything I take a picture of, I'm buying. Come on, man. Sometimes I just want. I think it looks cool. I think it look cool. That's it.
I wish
No,
I'd had my
nice.
brother take a picture of it's an old 1950s era, not a Studebaker, but close. That some car club had a bunch of their cars out at the Sonic. My brother was looking at the bike, which he had the fenders that went all the way back in the tail, that almost like that far from the ground, covered the wheels, the front and everything was just
The full body fenders.
yeah. I guess that's what they're called, but this thing was tricked out, and it was a bright red. And he's pulled up at the Sonic, cars coming out, and my brother and I both take a second look at the bike. I can't see what's going on with the car that's trying to come out. All of a sudden, I see the front end go, boink, boink. I'm like, and green light, so let me hit the gas. If you're going to put hydraulics on the car, no. You do not impress me. But sitting on the side was an old school 50s model car, and I wish I'd had him get a picture of it because I was driving.
That's when they.
You guys are up a lot later than I am, and I know that it seems a little bit early my time, but I gotta get up at like 5 in the morning so I can try to hopefully finish a little bit more studying before I go to work. So, Mater, Crystal, ACM, appreciate you.
Justin.
Thank you for letting me be on the live stream. It's fun. It's
Hey,
nice
Justin.
just kind of bullshit a little bit. Well, I want to say
Hey, I
thank
appreciate
you. I really
everyone.
do thank you. I mean, I appreciate it. I do.
Yeah. You have a good night
Yeah.
and stay safe, okay?
Yeah.
You guys too.
You take it
Bye.
easy, Justin, and I appreciate you stopping by. Take care.
This
All right, I'm gonna drop my camera back off so I can work on this a little bit more.
Okay, no problem. But yeah, Antonio, like I said, I got that. I don't know if you saw the video. It was on Ed's channel about a week and a half ago, almost 2 weeks now, that he was giving away that $25 gift card for Home Depot. And Justin's his number got drawn, and then he was on Power Stroke Jude's stream, and Ed told him, "Hey, by the way, you want up winning this?" And he goes, "I don't need it. I don't have a use for it. Let's find someone in the chat and everything. Give it to them." And he goes, "Oh, let's give it to Mater." So I was like, I got it in the mail Friday, and I actually got Ed on the phone and, was discussing with him about my internet and everything. And it's like, what can I do to go better? Because, I tell him I'm running Ethernet cable and everything. I said, would a Cat 6 be better? He goes, oh, yeah, much better. So today after church and everything, I went to Home Depot, and I got me it's a 100-foot Cat 6 cable. I've got plugged in the modem inside the house, and I've just got it run out here to the garage into my laptop. And then today, after Home Depot, I went next door to Best Buy. I picked up this little J5 camera. It's got a built-in microphone. It's 1080. I was like, that's why I was going, hey, let me test out my new camera and everything.
No, it's working a lot better than it did. He's working better than he did last night. So
Right.
he's just got a lag problem on the sound.
I haven't watched Ed or anybody's channel.
Yeah, it's
Right.
just like a second or two, so it's not that big a deal.
Well, I'm still working on it, still new. It's like I got to tweak it,
Yeah.
I guess, a little bit more here and there. It's like, but hey, the video and, as long as the video quality of everything is a lot better, that's going to be the main thing I'm going to be happy with right now. It's like, I'll tweak it, try and get all the Volkswagens out of it.
The video looks fine to me.
Yeah.
I'm just on my phone. See.
Right.
Yeah, and I'm on a Chromebook that was, I think, 2 years old when we bought it, and it's been a further 2 years since I got it. So
Right. Well, see, that's the one thing, Crystal was saying that because she was on my live stream last night. She says the video quality is a lot better than, tonight than it was last night. Because I'm not using the camera. It's actually on my laptop. I think the laptop is a 720, and this camera here is like it says a 1080.
Well,
Which for some reason YouTube seems to like.
Well, all of my laptops have really, really high-end cameras, and they suck too. I have a $4,000 Asus laptop right there. I have a $10,000 Cosmio right here, and I have a $3,000 Lenovo laptop right there underneath the paperwork. And even though the cameras are expensive, they suck. You always have to use an external camera.
Gotcha.
They put more money. They put more money into the computer than they do the camera.
Right. Well, like this one here, it wasn't quite $65 for it, and it had there was another one, but it didn't have the built-in mic. So I was like, no, I mean for $10 less, yeah, I'll go with this one. I mean, still saying picture quality, but this one's got a built-in mic. It's like, why not?
Yeah, I don't usually use the mics when it comes to the cameras. I usually process my audio separately from the camera.
Okay, Antonio, Tom is asking what kind of shop you're in.
What kind of shop? What do you mean?
He says, what kind of shop do you work in?
I own an automotive shop. I own several. One's a hot rod shop, and then the rest of them are just automotive shops, and one of them is a diesel shop.
Nice.
Yep, that's nice. Antonio, did you catch the project, the next major project I'm going to be working on?
I haven't watched any videos lately, so if you've mentioned it in a video, probably not.
Have you ever heard of Cars and Cameras?
Yeah, I know about Cars and Cameras, yeah.
Okay. You remember that little dragster they wound up building with that Predator 670 about 2 years ago?
Vaguely.
I'm wanting to build one, but I want it in a Top Fuel style where the engine is sitting behind me. And
like a full-size dragster.
Yeah, but I want it in the shortened version and everything. But like I said, because I picked up I picked up two 670 motors from Harbor Freight on their as-is section, and I was surprised to see them there. Okay, they don't show up. Right, no. There's a return or something wrong with them, so they got fixed, whatever, sent back to the store.
Yeah, the clearance section because of the fact that they were returned without a box or something.
Yeah, and
correct.
Honestly, most of them they're not even fixed. They're just set over there, and they take 10% off it, and that's it. And you buy it and be done.
I'm sure somebody's gonna get stuck with that motor I took back because on the receipt I took a motor back. It was a 420 motor I took back. I had it running for like 5 minutes and it would not idle to save its life, and it was backfiring and everything. I took it back, and the note on my receipt for my exchange says not functioning properly, and that's not what I told the dude. What I told the dude was it was backfiring extremely bad, and it was surging. It was surging during idle extremely bad. It needed to be sent back for repair. And I bet you because the box, I bet you he retaped the box back up and just put it back on the shelf.
No, they're not allowed to put it back on the shelf. It actually has to have a copy of your return was put on the box, and it was taken into the back and it's supposed to be put on a pallet to be returned, but it'll just be thrown in the as is. Because I worked for Harbor Freight for like a year.
The reason I know that it was not physically sent back was because I went in the next week and it was back on the shelf.
Oh, so yeah, they didn't do it right.
Yeah.
He didn't listen. Right. All he put on it was it wasn't working right. He didn't put everything I told him. I told him enough information for them to send it back, and he literally just put a sticker on the side of it and put it back on the shelf.
For me, I managed to get both of these 670s for just under $900.
That's not
That's
bad
not
at
bad.
all.
No, for two of them though, for less
Yeah.
than $900. I think it was.
They're normal. 670s are normally like 900 or 870 something a piece.
I think they're about. Yeah, they're right around 900. But the manager marked them both down to I think 430 a piece.
That's not bad.
No, and I mean I'm going to take them apart, and I'm going to be doing some modifying on them, getting them souped up. And one of the things I want to do is, like I said, I want to get it set up like a top fuel dragster. Now I know that what they wound up doing is, of course, they had the jack shaft and everything going back to the axle with the chain. What I'm wanting to try and do is figure. I'm still working on it. Got some ideas. I want it to where the output shaft is going straight back into a differential and everything, getting almost like a direct drive setup.
You know what?
Like
You know what
still
you
working on
could
the
do?
part. What's that?
You know what you could do for that? Just an idea off the top of my head is older Forerunners, older Tacomas, they have third member axles where
Okay.
the diff is actually facing the front of the car.
Okay.
So if the motor is going to be in front of the tires,
Right.
then you could do that. You can literally just get like an older Toyota axle from like an SUV,
Okay.
and because the way they're built is in order to inspect them, they don't have like Fords or Chevys where you can just take the diff cover off and
Right.
look at them from the rear. You actually have to pull them from the drive shaft side out because it's a third member style.
So they got a removable pumpkin like the Chrysler 8 3/4.
Yeah, the pumpkin's removable from the front. So if you're standing in the front of the vehicle and you're facing the grill, if you kind of drop down to the ground, you'd see the transmission and the drive shaft, and then you would see the third member. So to unhook those, you literally just take the yoke and the U-joint off the third member, drop the drive shaft, and then literally unbolt the 12 bolts and pull the third member out.
Right. Because that's what I had to do when I had my my race car, that 70 Charger. Is that from the factory it had 273 gears, so basically all I had to do was pull the tires off of it, pull the drums. There was 5 nuts that held the flange and everything that actually held the axle in. So basically all I had to do was take those nuts off, slide the axle out a little bit, take the drive shaft off of it, take the bolts and everything out for the pumpkin. Pumpkin just pops right out.
Yeah. In Toyotas, it's called a third member because it literally looks like an arm.
Right. I mean, the Ford 9-inch is the same way, but to me the Ford 9-inch has got problems with it, and it's like everybody seems to have a Ford 9-inch, and it's like I can pick up those that Chrysler 8 3/4 all the time because they put them in all kinds of different vehicles, and I pick them up a lot cheaper.
Right, and the only reason I mentioned the Toyota rear axles is because they have third members. So in order to take them out, there's no keys or keyways for the axle shafts. You literally just unbolt the 4 bolts that holds the axle shaft in. You slide the axle shaft in. There's no keepers, and all you do is go underneath, drop you literally unbolt the 4 bolts that holds the drive shaft to the flange in. You drop the drive shaft, or you literally bungee it up, and then you remove the 12 bolts from the third member, and you literally pull the third member out. You don't even have to pull the axle or anything out. So it's and that would be easier if And then you would just have a custom drive shaft made, whatever the length is from that to the motor.
Right. The only thing that I'm still trying to figure out and get worked out and everything is a clutch system to get it to engage.
Right.
And
Yeah.
I still would like to find some way of having either a 2 or 3 speed transmission in behind all that. I am going to be seeing about putting a blower on it, and it's going to be an actual blower.
Right.
And of course now I've found it's an air cleaner assembly that it looks just like the hat and everything that you see actually on top of a blower for the top fuel, that the little butterfly is open. So I'm wanting to see about getting something like that kind of a setup, but I'd still like to see about making it a fuel injection. And
blowers don't necessarily work very well on fuel injection.
they do it on the top fuel in funny car because that's what they've got.
Yeah, but for a blower like that, you're talking about $1,000, $1,500 just for a blower like that.
Actually, I found one for less than $300.
By who?
It's I found it on eBay, and it's actually I think it comes off of a BMW. And it's got the twin screw rollers and everything in it.
Be careful with stuff that are for BMWs, because most of it is specifically only meant for BMWs.
Right. I think it's what's it? I think it's AMR 350. I think is what the blower is.
An AMR 350. That's a little high. 300. You said $300
for less than 300.
Less than 300. I wouldn't pay for that style of blower. I wouldn't pay any more than $120 for that. That's from a very old BMW.
Now, if you could find one for me, let me know. I'll send you the money and get it shipped to me. If you can find one for that kind of money, hey, I'll pay you for it.
I'll look around. I'm not sure if I'll find anything. That's for a 80s and 90s model BMW. It would be like a 320 series BMW. They haven't made those in 30 years.
Okay.
And
so you said the 320 series Beamer?
Yeah, it's for an 80s model, 80s early 90s model, 320 series Beamer.
I could probably
They were put on some of the higher Beamers. They were put on some of the higher end Beamers in the early 2000s, but those are still going for $600-$700.
Now, what about the AMR? I know there's an AMR 500.
AMR 500 blower?
Yeah.
Let me look real quick.
Because, like I said, I've been finding those on eBay, and the reason I'm saying something like that is because Redbeard's garage, he actually put one on a 670.
The 500 I know is more versatile, and a 500, an AMR 500 6-pack you can get for about $300.
Okay.
That's a reasonable price for the 500. Is I wouldn't go any higher than $300.
So what would you say is better, the 350 or the 500?
The 500 is better. It's more versatile. You can put it on more. You can put it on more vehicles. Those were put on the 320i's in 2005 and up. They're still put on. They're still put on the BMW M3s. They were put on those. They're put on the BMW M6s and the M8s. And the M6s and M8s are racing BMWs, and they're still made to this day. They're easier to find.
So I could probably find one of those at my local pick and pull if there's one sitting in there. So
Yeah.
if I found one of those at a junkyard, what kind of price would I be looking at would be reasonable?
I don't know about junkyards. Junkyards are variant based off the junkyard.
Right. Okay.
They're also based off of, for junkyards, it's also based off of the demand. If they have one vehicle that has that, they might request more than if they have 30 vehicles that have it, because it's a commodity item. So, like, I'll give you an example. My 21-year-old 4Runner, I can't find parts for it, especially when it comes to junkyards, because most junkyards in this country doesn't have any 4Runners, especially third gens, because they're very popular. Once they're wrecked, they're taken out of a wrecking yard and they're turned into another vehicle, whether they're completely restored or somebody mods them for off-roading. It's hard to find parts. So I'm basically stuck with buying parts from Toyota for it, because they're extremely popular, and it's no different than like the first or second gen 4Runners. Most first gen 4Runners, if they're wrecked, they're literally pulled out of the junkyard, lifted, refabbed, and then people go wreck them again. So for certain things, it's pretty impossible to find. BMWs are not necessarily very popular in junkyards, because when they break down, people just trade them into the dealer. So it might be hard to find anything like that at a junkyard, because BMWs have a very good resale value. Even if something as simple as the return line for the gas tank fails, because the return. Go ahead.
I was going to say, because that's what you mentioned was funny. I laughed about it because I remember I went to a car auction several years ago, and they had a Beamer there. I don't remember the model, but it was I think a mid '80s, and it needed some body work done to it and everything. And this guy wound up paying, I think, $150 for it.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, $150 for a Beamer. It's like, okay.
Yeah, there's also a downside though. $150 for the Beamer, but he probably had about $8,000 into the engine, because people don't realize when they buy Beamers, they're the most expensive car to repair. I'll give you an example. The USLEV motors from 2009 to 2014, they made a special USLEV motor. That's what it's called. That motor is a specialized motor that was built for emissions for specific states like California, Texas, New York, Florida, and a couple other very stringent states that have very stringent laws on smog. That motor.
We don't have smog problems here in Texas.
No, we don't have them either in Oklahoma.
There's certain locations in Texas where they're required. Those specific,
probably down by the ports.
Those specific motors were specifically. Huh?
Yeah, I was gonna say it might be. Crystal was saying it might be down on the coast somewhere, but I don't even think even Houston would even have something like that. And that's my hometown.
It's by the coast, but as I was saying, that motor was specifically built for a specific BMW, that because it was a concept engine at that time.
Okay.
And in order for it to be sold in specific states, they had to put specific requirements on the motor for the emissions. So when
California,
the emissions fail, for an example, on the gas tank, there's no return lines on those gas tanks. So there's an internal pump that pumps the gas through the system, but it cannot come
Uh-huh.
back into the tank. So the motor has to utilize that gas. Those pumps go bad. In those gas tanks, there is 24 different louvers in the gas tank. There's 4 pumps.
Hey,
And the problem,
Antonio,
Huh.
are you keeping up with the chat?
I can't see the chat.
Okay, Stephen Doolittle asks what motor comes in that to you. I'm guessing he asked what motor comes in the Forerunner, because that's looks like
Yeah,
when
he,
it
he
popped
doesn't
up.
say, he's not specific. Steven, you're not specific on which motor you're talking about. And Crystal, thank you for reading that. I missed that.
Yeah,
You're
I'm
fine.
on my phone. I can only see the
Right.
I can only see the live stream.
The video. Okay,
Yeah.
well,
Yeah.
I'm actually fixing to drop out because I can't afford to do tonight what I did last night. I need to get some
Yeah,
sleep
wow.
because I'm going to be up and running from 8 a.m. until 6 o'clock tomorrow night. So,
Yeah.
Okay.
yeah, he does want it for the Forerunner, hun.
The Forerunner originally came with a 3.4 liter V6.
Okay.
Okay. Y'all guys have fun. Stay safe.
Okay.
And
Yep.
I'll catch you next time. If nothing else, I get up and do Twisted V Twins on Saturday and Sunday mornings. That's normally when you'll catch me.
Okay.
Well, Saturday and Sunday mornings is like I said, when he starts his, I'm usually still sleeping.
If I wasn't doing this job, I would be too.
Yep.
Yep.
Hey, Crystal, I appreciate you stopping by tonight and last night.
Later,
You're welcome.
Crystal.
You're welcome. You guys
All right.
have fun and good night. Bye.
All right. See ya. And it's just down to the 2 of us now. But, yeah, I can understand that being a problem.
Well, what I was trying to explain was that because of the problems with the gas tank, a lot of people will actually put the car aside, or they'll sell it, or they'll trade it in, because in order to fix the problems with that gas tank when it comes to one of the 4 pumps or the actual exit line, you either have to cut the gas tank open, or you have to buy a new gas tank from BMW. That gas tank alone is $9,000.
Wow.
So when you buy that car, and those physical pumps only last literally about 3 years before they fail. So
Damn.
you buy a BMW, and that's usually the 450i that motor came in. When you buy
Okay.
that car, if that car has any more than 180,000 miles on it, that tank needs to be replaced. And at that time, between 2009 and 2012, at that time, the car is not even worth $9,000. And that's the
Jeez.
problem with BMWs, is that the parts cost more than the car is worth by the time the part is needed.
And how much is that car sold? How much was that car sold brand new?
That car sold brand new for $48,000 at that time, and that wasn't a lot, because it was just a normal everyday BMW, just standard class. It wasn't anything fancy.
So basically about 41,000, too damn much money.
Right. And by the time the gas tank problem happens, the car is only worth about 3,000 or 4,000. So it's not even worth replacing it. And that's the major problem with BMWs, is because of their proprietary equipment that's involved in them, how the motors are built. Specific things, when they fail, they cost more than the car. Like, everybody's toting about Teslas. Well, you won't be toting about a Tesla when you have 100-something batteries under your ass and one of them sparks.
Yep.
And the other thing about Teslas, and what people don't realize, is Teslas are not freaking cheap. One battery goes bad, and you're paying for the amount of the car just to replace the batteries.
Yep. I saw a video on YouTube. There's a couple channels I like watching, and they're always talking about different idiots driving and everything. It shows all the different car crashes and everything. And it
Right.
showed the Tesla. It was on autopilot, and it was going down the California highway. And I was laughing because there was part of the highway wall that kind of came out just a little bit, and the lane changed over a little bit, some. And the Tesla couldn't figure it out, and bam, right into it. And I think it was like $4,000 in body work. And it was an autopilot that couldn't figure that out. I'm going, damn, that car ain't that damn smart.
The funny thing is a lot of people don't realize, but the Teslas actually have problems with their computers.
Mm-hmm.
The Teslas actually have like a 12 or 13-inch TV monitor that runs the entire system, where you can control everything in the car. When those go when they go haywire, the car just randomly does what it wants.
Right.
So now, he may have been driving perfectly fine, but all of a sudden something went haywire and it slammed him into the wall.
Right. Did you hear that Tesla's going to be? They're looking at building a plant here in Texas.
No, I didn't know that.
Yep, that's the latest word that they're talking about building some kind of a plant here in Texas for making them.
Wow.
Yeah. Now here's a question I got for you. Going back to the Beamer. Do you know what BMW stands for? A lot of people don't.
Big Mexican woman. I'm just kidding.
No. It's Bavarian Motor Works.
Yeah, I know. That's just what I call them.
Yeah, I always call them pieces of crap because, I mean, it's a Beamer. It's like, it ain't worth a damn. I mean, it's just a more expensive Volkswagen.
Yeah.
That's all it is. I'll take a Volkswagen over a Beamer.
But
and Porsche is
BMWs aren't the only ones that have that problem. So do Mercedes, and I give respect to the guys that work on BMWs and Mercedes every day because they're a hassle to get to certain things. You know, when you want to take just a valve cover off, you got to take 90% of the motor apart just to get the valve cover.
Oh, I tell you one that's a pain in the ass to work on, and that's the that Wankel motor that they were putting in the RX-7s.
Oh, yeah.
We had a lady come in. She had an RX-7, and the front oil seal was leaking on it. It was $900 for us to fix it, because the only way to do that is you literally have to pull the entire engine out of the car.
And it was a $50 seal.
Right, but the thing about it is they when they designed it, that seal is put in from the inside of the engine. So you literally have to separate the whole engine, just put that seal in.
Yeah, and that's similar to the pancake motors that Subaru makes.
Yep. I've worked on those before because I did a lot. I worked in a shop that we did nothing but Japanese cars. That's all we did.
Yeah, I like Toyotas, but you know that's just that's what my mother always drove, and that was just one of the first vehicles I bought, and I've got 790,000 miles on my 2000.
Damn. You do a lot of driving with it.
Yeah. Well, I drive roughly about somewhere in the range of 6,000 to 8,000 miles a day, depending on, or not a day, but a week.
Yeah, because you got a lot of driving around with all them shops you got.
Well, it's not just the shops. I don't technically run the shops. My managers run the shops for me. I do mobile repair, so I'm always moved. That's why my toolbox is in my kitchen, because that's where my wife told me to put it.
Well, I had my toolbox in the living room, and it was like, okay, I'm getting the garage cleaned out, so it's like, okay, I got it moved out here to my garage.
Right. Well, this house is a house from the 60s. This is technically the garage. This room right here.
Wow. So you got your toolbox, you got your tools and everything in the garage, so you can't complain.
No, they're actually in the kitchen.
But you said it was originally the garage, right?
No. The
Oh,
room
okay.
that I'm standing next to is originally the garage.
Okay.
Here, kitchen's right here. See the kitchen?
Okay.
I turn directly around. There's a toolbox. It's actually in the kitchen.
Okay.
This room that I just turned the light on in, this is the garage. But
Okay.
when I bought the house, the original owner physically put a wall here. He
Okay.
took the garage door down. See the wall and the window?
Right. So it just did a modification of the house to add another room.
Right.
Did a conversion. Yeah.
Right. And this went from the garage to the living room. So
Okay.
this is still a living room, but I don't use it as a living room. My shop press is in here. My Milwaukee vacuums and my lights and filters and some tools in here, some toolboxes and books and my table miter saw and my welding cart.
Right.
They're all in here. But the problem is I wanted to turn it back into a garage, but when I went to the I can't remember the assessor's office. The property, the where you can get the freaking permit.
Tax office. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. The city. Still the city.
I went to the city for a permit, and the city's like, well, you can't turn that back into a garage. I'm like, what do you mean? When you bought the house, he did the conversion illegally. There's no permit.
Ooh.
So it wasn't permitted. I'm like, well, that explains all the problems I've found. And so I can't turn it back into a garage because I would like to because this garage is literally 30-something feet, 40-something feet long, and it's about 20, 30 feet wide. It's big enough for me to put a large SUV in here because I have a Ford Excursion. It's 22 feet long, but
wow.
The other problem is the only other thing I can do is put more toolboxes in that room.
Yeah.
Because I can't put my toolboxes outside because my dogs live outside. And I can't put them in my barn because the toolbox will destroy the floor.
It's like for me, like on my house, it's we got it dated back to 1908. And it was originally a 2-bedroom, 1 bath, and then they basically where the back porch and everything was, they added on, built another bedroom and put another bathroom back there. But it never had, it has a detached garage. So the thing that's a pain in the butt on something like that with this garage where it's located, it's a 2-car garage, but I mean, I'm sitting, the garage wall is probably about 25, 30 feet away from the house. Okay. So in order to get in the garage, which is back over here on that side. Okay.
Right.
You actually come down the driveway and then you have to slide the door over and then you pull your car in. But now, if you want a second car, which is where I'm sitting at right now, the only way to get a second car in here, you have to come in through the alleyway, slide the door open, and bring the car in. And
that sounds like a pain.
But the thing about it is they didn't even build it on a concrete slab. It's got gravel. They basically just laid the framework and everything on the gravel. So yeah, that's a pain. But now years ago, there's a house where the house and everything, it's actually sitting in the middle of the block. Okay. There was a house on the corner that I knew the people and everything, that they were there when we moved in. Well, they passed away. Their kids wound up, inheriting the house. So they didn't need it. They wound up just renting it out. Whoever rented it caught the house on fire, was beyond repair. So they just bulldozed it. But there was a 20 by 20 metal garage sitting over there, totally empty. Well, my parents, they bought that corner lot. And right now I'm using that other garage basically as storage. and everything for a bunch of stuff. I've got my 80-gallon Cobalt air compressor sitting over there. It's a little 2-stage I bought years ago for about $500. So, and eventually I'd like to see about getting it moved, but that's going to take some work, and I need some help getting it moved from there over to here.
Right.
But, you know, the way the wiring was done on this was they used a 30-amp double pole breaker, and it went, you know, of course the wiring went through the attic, and there's 2 different peaks on the house in the back. At one peak, right underneath the eaves and everything, they ran a 220 power. They strung the wires, 3 individual wires, 2 hot and a neutral, to the top of the garage. They ran it into the addition, which they poured a slab and everything, and that's where the washer and dryer set up. So basically, they ran that wire over there for having power for the washer and for the dryer, and then there was like a kids clubhouse, or you know something like that, whatever you want to call it, that was built like 11 by 11. They ran 3 other separate wires from there to that little clubhouse, and then from there they ran into the rest of the wash house for lighting and everything. And
that doesn't sound like any of that was code.
And no. And what I've done is I actually went and bought a 50-amp double pole breaker, and I took that 30-amp one out, put a 50-amp in there, and I ran wire, you know, heavier gauge wire. I think it was a 4 gauge. I think it was, or is it a 4 or 6? Whatever it takes for running 50 amps. And I actually
sounds like 6 gauge.
It could be 6 gauge. All I was, I talked to them, and this was a couple years ago. I wound up doing it all. But I ran it through the attic and had it come out the back where the little vent is, and I actually ran it through the gray conduit, ran it down into the ground, and 20 feet is how far I had to dig a trench, 2 feet deep, from the back of the house over the side of the wash area, and ran it from there, came up and went into the wash house, and I've got it on its own little breaker box. So I've got breaker assembly set up in there for the dryer. I've got lighting over there. I've got my lighting, and I've got electrical outlet over here, and they're all on their own separate breakers. And it's all being run on Romex. The biggest problem is that I had this house, the way it was set up originally, it had glass type fuses. Well, it had we had electrical fire in the house, so they had, you know, that where that breaker box was at, it didn't meet code, so they moved it, and the electrician, they didn't replace 18 gauge cloth wrapped aluminum wiring.
Wow.
Yeah. 18 gauge cloth wrapped aluminum wire.
Aluminum wire doesn't hold current very well.
No. And check this out. 2 bedrooms, a bathroom, living room, and dining room was running off a 120 amp breaker.
What?
Yeah. That's how they had the house wired. And
that sounds like somebody hacked the heck out of that.
But the thing about it is, the electrician did not, when they had to replace the wiring and everything, when we had that one fire in my old bedroom, they left all that. They didn't take it out.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So I've already got the living room on its own separate breaker. I've got the dining room on its own separate breaker. But what makes it bad, have you ever heard of Federal Pacific?
Yeah.
They're not around anymore. That's the breakers and the breaker box I've got in there.
Yeah, there's no way to replace them.
The only way to replace them is what I had to do to get that 50 amp double pole. I literally had to go on eBay and buy one that was used. That was the
Yeah,
only way.
it's not easy to find.
So I got lucky on that. I'm still trying to get the front bedroom and bathroom on its own separate circuit, and then get my room on its own separate circuit, and get it all rewired. Because I got to kind of do all this under the radar of the city.
Right.
But I'm going back with 12.2 Romex.
12.2 is pretty standard.
Right. That's what I'm doing. Like I said, I'm going with all that. But I did find 2 outlets, one in the dining room and one in my mom's bedroom, and it was a 220 outlet. It wasn't like your dryer style, but it was still a 220. And I'm looking at it and everything. I'm going.
Was it like a welder style?
No. It was a round one. No, it wasn't like a welder. I'm not too sure. It was like where you had one that was straight up and down, the other one was at a side, and then you had like the ground underneath it. Okay.
Oh, that's a dryer plug.
Is
That's
it?
a dryer plug. That's a dryer plug for a very specific type of dryer.
Okay. Now, but check this out. How the electrician had it wired in. He took a 20 amp single pole breaker, put the black wire on, used one piece of Romex, okay? Ran the black wire in on one breaker, the white wire on another single pole breaker, and then hooked the ground in on the ground bar. Did that on both of those outlets. So 4 breakers for 2 outlets.
That doesn't make any sense because it wouldn't be getting 220 volts.
It's still getting 220 because you're still going to get 20, a 110, like 110 on one leg, 110 on the other. But instead of a double pole breaker, they were using 2 single pole breakers. But like I said,
in order to get 110 on each, you would have to have the black and the white on one breaker, then black and white on the other breaker. If it's literally one wire, it shouldn't be getting 220 volts.
No, he had the black wire going out on one breaker, a 20 amp breaker, and the white wire going on another 20 amp breaker.
Then it wouldn't be providing 220 volts constantly. It would only be providing 220 volts at non-usage.
But anyways, I wound up doing away with that, and I put just a regular 110 outlet in that spot and got it hooked up correctly.
Yeah, because how a 240 or 220 plug's supposed to work is it's supposed to be your hot, your neutral, and your ground on one breaker, then hot, neutral, ground, another breaker. And when you add those two together on one plug, it makes 240 or 220 volts. But
actually,
if you only do black on one and white on the other breaker, you're actually only providing 110 volts total, but the nominal voltage will show up as 220. As soon as you plug something into that, it's only going to give 110 volts.
Well, the way I know that a 220 or 240 outlet is set up is you've got you're going to have red, you're going to have black, and then you're going to have a neutral and probably a ground.
Oh yeah, I stated the colors that I have out here, which is white, black, and green.
Right. Well, I know that for 220, it's always been red, black, because your red and the black are going to be your hots. Then your white's going to be your neutral, and of course your bare is going to be your ground.
Oh, it's different colors here in Arizona. Arizona's requirements are white, black, and green.
Okay. Well, I know we've got green. I know, like on this now a 14, say a 12.3, you're going to have your black, your white, your green, and a bare.
Yeah.
So I guess it's different from state to state.
Yeah, it's different from state to state. Even in England, it's different. Like hot in England is brown.
Really? Brown?
Yeah,
Huh.
brown. Brown is hot. Blue is neutral, and gray is ground.
Huh. Remind me not to go to England. Well, I do want to go there. I would like to go over to England.
Yeah, it's different everywhere. The requirements are different.
Yep. All right, Antonio, it's 11:15 for me, and I got to be up and be at work at 8 o'clock in the morning. And I do appreciate, you and everybody else that's in the chat for stopping by tonight. Like I
No
said,
problem, man.
I wound up getting this new camera and everything. It's like, hey, let me, I got to get it tested out, try and work the bugs and everything out of it, make sure I got everything set up correctly, and see how everything is with this new Cat 6 cable. And, everything seems to be a lot better.
Yeah, it's working better. The picture's a lot clearer than it used to be.
Right, because like I said, because I was going off the using the camera, it was actually on the laptop itself compared to now I've got this camera up here.
Right.
So, but yeah, like I said, I appreciate it. You stopping by. You're actually the third person I've had in. So,
No problem, man.
Okay. Well, you take care, and everybody out there that's, I got 4 people. Hey, I appreciate everybody else stopping by. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up. As I always say, hit that bell. That way you get notified when I try and do something. Subscribe. What else am I forgetting, Antonio? Oh, leave a comment. That's it. Leave a comment.
Like, comment, share, subscribe.
Like, comment, and subscribe. And and hit the bell for notifications. That's it. All right, guys. I appreciate it. And until next time, which probably next Saturday night, because like I said, usually after Brandon, he goes off and everything, I'll be coming back on. So,
Take care, everybody.
I'll see y'all later. Bye.
Bye.